Hey there, it's Tanya with Scraptastic Creations. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to create a two-page layout and I'm using this gorgeous Country Woods paper collection by Stampin' Up. Now this is all wood grains and it is fabulous. I love it. If you follow me here on my YouTube channel, you have seen me use this either on an entire layout or use this to mix in with other paper packs, because who does not love a great wood grain paper pack? And there are many kinds of wood grains in this paper pack. So let me show you my photos. This is my little grandson Ezekiel, and I cannot show you his face. I am very sorry, but my son Colton does not want his son on social media, so I have to be respectful of that. But what I wanted you to see is, look at his adorable little shark hat. I love it. And I have this really cool idea. So this was his very first time at the beach. And if you notice, if you look at him, he is like watching the waves crashing in and just loved it. And then he liked squeezing his little feet in the sand, and it was just adorable. So I am working off of a sketch. I got the sketchbook at the beginning of the month, and this is the Creative Design Team Sketchbook Volume 4, and I will leave that linked in the description box below, along with all the products that I use to make it real easy for you. So I'm going to bring in my two Versa mats to work on. Now these were by Close to My Heart. Close to My Heart went out of business a year ago, or a little over a year ago, and I'm sorry they are not available. I get a lot of questions about them. They are fabulous, and which is why I continue to use them, because I love them, but they are no longer available. And so far, Stampin' Up has not come out with anything similar, but fingers crossed, I will keep you up to date. I do absolutely love their glass mat, and I highly recommend it. There is a difference using that glass mat. So for my background, I think I want to bring in this crumb cake cardstock. I'm not real sure if I want to use the light side or the dark side. I'm thinking either one would be great, and it's going to be in my background. There'll be paper over it, but I do really like the dark side. But I also really like the light side. So I'm going to start off using the light side, and then we might switch it. Okay, here are some of my thoughts. I can use this crumb cake cardstock in the background and then bring in this gorgeous wood grain that absolutely reminds me of the beach and have my photos like this. I can use this one, like the beach, like the different colors in the sand, and I really like that. And I might even like that one if I flip this one over, because then it really picks up those rich brown tones. So let's leave it like that. Or I could bring in, oh, let me show you a photo real quick. So that would be over here like that. Or I could bring in this gorgeous wood grain, which happens to be my absolute favorite piece. My only problem with using this one is that this is all I have left of this other second sheet. So, and I want them the same size on both pieces. So, I know, decisions, right? I think I might be able to pull off, you know, you've seen me. I've pulled off some really cool things where I've made it work and stretched my paper, so maybe I could do that. But these are my three choices. Okay, so this is the wood grain paper that I went with. Now, if I had it running this way, you can see the knots in the wood, but turning it this way, it really looks like the sand, like when you're walking on the beach, and I really love it. I love how that looks, and I think I'm definitely going to be able to pull this off. And I love all the different contrasts in there, so I think this is great. And this is going to be covered, and this is going to be covered, and it doesn't matter. I don't think it looks like, it doesn't look like wood anyways, the way when I have it laid out like this. If I look at my sketch, there's all these circles. I don't want all these circles. I want to do something different. And so I'm going to show you. I went ahead and I cut some strips, and these are just some 1-inch strips. This is Azure Afternoon, And I don't have the two-tone of this. This is just the regular cardstock. But I do have the two-tone of this Blueberry Bushel. And I want to use the lighter side of the Blueberry Bushel. I really like how that looks right there. Now I'm going to do this tearing technique. So I'm going to use my thumb to prevent this from tearing too far. And I'm just going to move it down. And I'm creating waves is what I'm doing. So I'm doing an equal amount of this color and this color because I am going to alternate them. So when you lay them down, you're going to see like, you know, like on the top of like the ocean, you can see like the white in the waves. So it's just going to alternate that way. And I'm going to do the same to all of these. So I'm going to go ahead and tear all of these. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have those all torn. Now I want to start creating my water here, my ocean. So I'm just going to alternate these strips to go all the way across. And you're going to see the white throughout. And I think this is going to make a really nice pattern. So we'll make sure these are nice and straight. So when I do this, if I want to do this, say I want to do this at 3 1/4, I'm going to kind of make sure I line this up to where it's 3 1/4. Now it's not going to be completely even because I have waves, but I don't want it to, you know, be like this. So I'm going to make sure that I kind of like look and line that up. Okay, I love that. I think it looks awesome. I did get a little something right here and it's fine. It doesn't have to be a bother, but I kind of want to turn this and just hide that. I'm not sure what I got on there, but I'm just going to rotate this. And now it's covered. Okay. All right. So let's lay out how our photos are going to go. Now my title is going to go, part of my title is going to go up here. And this one's going to go here. And then I will have these like this. My grandson, he just adores his daddy. And he always loves touching his face and holding his face. It's so cute. I think he loves the feel of his beard. But I like this one here with him turning and looking. So I think that's super cute. We'll throw these right in the water here. Now I think I really do like the way they look. I'm going to line these up with this side of this photo here. But I'm thinking that I want to bring in a mat. And I'm going to do a little ink distressing too around this paper here. And then probably like some frames. So I could bring in this blue, but there's a reason why I don't want to. And you'll see in a minute. I think I'm going to use this cardstock, a darker cardstock. And I like the way that this looks. Now this is Pebbled Path and it is a retired color, but you could pull in the light side of your early espresso. Even like your gray granite, the darker side of the gray granite would be great. So you do have options there. Okay, so let's move this a little bit more this way. Okay, perfect. Yeah, I like that. I think that's great. It really complements my photos. So I am going to do that to the rest of these. And I'm not gluing anything down yet because I want to do some ink distressing. And this one I'm probably going to move a little bit down here. So it's going to be centered in my water here. I'm going to be centered between this photo and this photo. And I'm probably going to move it over this way a little bit more because my subtitle I'm going to put here. Now these photos definitely looked great on this. It's like they just flowed into the background, and that with the browns in here and the water and the way this is, it looked great. But I really like how this pop of color, I really like that, how it really made them stand out. Now I want this right here to stand out. And the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to bring in my Pebbled Path ink. Now use whatever color you decide to use for your frames. If you use that early espresso or whatever matches your photos, and a blending tool. And I am just going to do a little bit of ink distressing, and I don't want to do a lot of ink distressing. I just want to add a little bit to make it stand up a little bit more. And the way I'm going to do that, because I do want to get these glued down here so I can start building my embellishment clusters in my title, is I'm just going to run my ink. I'm just going to run it right across there, and it's going to go super fast. And I don't think I'm going to do this inside because I want this to look like one continuous layout. So I'm just going to run that along there on the outside of this, and I'm going to do my frames as well. I'm going to bring in some circles. Now this is where my embellishment clusters are going to sit on, but I'm not going to leave them like this. I just want to show you where these are going to go. So I'm going to put them here. Let's see. I'll have this one a little bit higher. Yeah, that's good. So I got that visual triangle. Now I am going to take the rest of my strips. I still have those. I am going to take them, and now I am going to use my circles, and I am going to build my water layers on these, and then I am going to trim around them. So I have these coral pieces left over from the last layout I did, and then I also have these little animals left over, these little sea creatures left over from that layout as well. Those came from that Friendly Fin Stampin' die set. So this is retired, it's no longer available, but you might be able to find it on a Swip Swap site. I just thought it was perfect for my little shark baby here. So these are some standalone dies. I love that about the Stampin' Up! Stamps. So you have your stamps, and then you have dies that cut out those images, but then you have like these like standalone. I did a really cool thing with these bubbles on my last layout. I'll show that here to you at the end so you can kind of see the different water layouts that I did. But I had this left over and these because I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it in this pale pink, or I wanted to do it, petal pink, or I wanted to do it in the Calypso Coral, and ended up on the last one, did it in the Calypso Coral. So I had these still. I think I'm going to add another shark in. I have an idea. I'm going to do a reverse shark. So I'm going to show you that technique here in a second, but I'm going to bring in my glass mat. I want to do some inking, and I'm also going to show you, I'm going to ink my letters up as well. So I'll show you what dies I'm going to use for that. Okay, I want to do a little bit of inking on my embellishments. So I'm going to bring in my Petal Pink ink, and then just a blending brush. And I've shown this lots of times, but I just wanted you to see if you haven't seen yet or you're new to my channel. I'm just using the same color ink as the cardstock, and I'm just adding a little bit of ink to that to give it a little bit more detail. Now, I am not doing the whole thing, just the bottom part of it, kind of maybe a little bit here. Just, it's going to give it that much more detail. And then I'll do this about 3/4 the way up. And I love that. So I'm working on my glass mat here, and this glass mat is fabulous. I highly recommend it. So now I'm going to bring in my letters, and I have 2 different size letters here for my title and my subtitle. And these, I'm using the Alphabet a la Mode dies. If you follow me here again on my channel, I use these a lot. I love these. You get many of these letters in different numbers and different symbols. And some of these you get even like additional letters. You get a second one of the more popular letter, and I love that. So it makes cutting your title out go a little faster. And I'm combining this with the mini alphabet die. And the super cool about these letters is you can cut those all out with one pass in your die. And I love that. So I'm just going to add a little bit of ink on these as well. And I am going to go probably about 3/4 of the way up on these. and it's just going to give that just a little bit more detail again, and it's kind of gives it a pretty cool look. So I love that, and I'm using the same colored ink again as I am my cardstock. Okay, I'm bringing in my craft mat. This thing is amazing, and it's super cheap. I think like $6. And I have done reverse stamping with this thing a lot of times. You can create some really cool things, actually. Now I am just going to stamp the outline to my shark. And I'm going to bring in a piece of white cardstock, and I'm going to lay that there and pick up that ink. Okay. All right. And now I probably could get that a little darker if I wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to worry about it because I'm going to have part of it hidden. I'm bringing in my light cloud cover marker, and I am just going to do just a little bit of, add a little bit of that ink in there. Actually, I think what I'm going to use is the brush part. I'm just going to add a little bit of ink in there. And I'm going to go around the top part of this just to give it kind of the same look that we did. Now I could have tried to stamp with that reverse stamp. I could have stamped this inside part of the shark, but I wasn't sure if it would smudge because the blue was still wet. So I just thought it would be better to try this way, and we'll bring this up a little bit more. Yeah, nice. Now let's color his fin in. Whoops, I did go out of the line there, but I'm not really worried about it because I'm going to cut around it. Okay, so now we have it this way and this way. So I'm going to cut that out. You're not going to see where it's smudged there, and I'm going to go around that and trim it with my scissors. Okay, let's build some of these embellishment clusters. Now I'm thinking that this would look good right up here. And then we could go ahead and pull in our shark that faces towards the left-hand side. And we'll pull him in right up here. How cute is that? And let's bring in one of these stingrays. No, not that one, but one of these stingrays. Nice. And I want to bring in another one of these. I want most of it, let's see, I'm going to use this one. I want most of this hidden behind this photo, and then just peeking up from the top here into my title, because I told you I'm going to have part of my title up there. So maybe like that. And then this one I'm going to have coming, I want to fill in the space up here. So I'm going to probably hide pretty much that whole thing. I'll just put this in up here. And yeah, I like that. So we'll do that. Here, we'll just, okay, so I definitely want to bring in two of these stingrays over here somehow. I'm not sure yet, but I'm thinking I'd like to kind of bring in this shark, the reverse shark, the one that's now facing the opposite direction of the stamp set itself. So we will kind of just tuck that in. Oh, isn't that cute? That is so cute. I love it. All right, let's kind of move this. There we go. Yes, and I kind of got them tucked in behind that, and then underneath a little bit of that wave. I love that. That is great. And then we will bring in these dolphins. Now I'm going to show you, because I already had these done from before, I'm going to show you what I did and what I used here in just a second to create these, the look. In case you have this stamp or you are looking to get this stamp on like a Swip Swap or eBay. Okay, so we'll have our two little dolphins there. I'll bring in my school of fish here in a minute. Okay, these are the ink pads I used. Basic Gray, Smoky Slate, Petal Pink, and Pebbled Path. Now, I when I stamped this, I used the Pebbled path, and what I did was I stamped the outline, because if you remember when I showed you that stamp set, there is the outline and then the inside to all of those little sea creatures there, even the fish here, the school of fish. Now, this I stamped the outline in Pebbled path, and then for the inside, what I did was I off stamped or second generation stamped, meaning I took my stamp and I stamped it on a separate piece of paper and then stamped it, so some of the ink had already come off. And this one I stamped in, oh, you know what? I also used that cloud cover. So this one I stamped in the Secret Sea. So I used the cloud cover and the Secret Sea. So let me show you that one more time, just in case you're screenshotting that. Okay, so I used the Pebbled path, the Petal pink, the Smoky slate, the basic gray, the Secret Sea, and the cloud cover. Aren't those colors great together? I love that. So for the shark, I stamped the outside in the Secret Sea and then did the inside in that cloud cover. And I did the same for that school of fish. And then for my dolphin, I used the basic gray and the Smoky slate. So the basic gray is what's stamped on the outside, and the inside was stamped with the Smoky slate. So I hope that helps you when you go to stamp those yourself. All right, so let's play with these a little bit. I think maybe we'll have them coming out. So I'm going to do maybe a school of fish up here. Yeah, that's cute. And then I will do a school of fish coming out maybe up here. Now I have those little, I have a couple of those little ones. So maybe we will go ahead and tuck in maybe another one right there to fill that in. I like that. Yeah, let's do that. And then have this school of fish, and maybe we'll stick that right on top of there. Okay, so that looks pretty good, I think. Now I'm going to use this to do my journaling right here. So let's stick our title down. So I'm going to use all these little ones over here for my subtitle. Okay, so I'm going to do that right like that. And I might even cut a second set of these letters and glue them together to give them just a little bit more dimension so they stand up a little higher off of my background, which I'm pretty sure I am going to do that before I glue these down. And you'll be able to see the difference. It'll look a lot more I will like it better. Okay, so I've got baby. So baby shark, definitely a play on my grandson's little hat there. And then we are going to do. So I love it. So how cute is that? Baby shark, do. I love that. Okay, so I'm going to cut my second set of letters, and then I'm going to get them glued down, and then I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do to finish this up. So I printed up my journaling on some of these clear full sheet shipping labels, and I just cut it to size and put it through my printer. I did, when I put it down, it's slightly crooked, but it's fine. You can't rip it up or take it up because it'll rip my paper underneath, and it's not that bad. So I'm just gonna roll with it. But let me give you a closer look at this. Isn't that super cute? Baby shark, do. Those letters came out great, and I love that tearing. In fact, I love how much he just loves and adores his daddy. So here is a look at this side, and doing those circles with that same water tearing effect just came out really cute. I really like it. I'm very happy with it, the way it came out. Let me just show you that other water layout I was talking about. So this is the beach, and then this one is the pool. So both water layouts, two very different looks. So I just thought I would give you a quick look at that. So if you've enjoyed this process video, give me a thumbs up. Leave me a comment. Let me know your thoughts. I'm always happy to connect with you. I'm trying to grow my channel, so hit that subscribe button. And I've put another video up on screen right now that I really think you're going to enjoy. So click on it. Till next time, friends.